piece of white PK chewing gum, and I'm going to pop that in my mouth. I'm also going to chew another half piece of PK gum, so with my trusty scissors with the green insert and blue handle, I'm just going to carefully cut those in half. This is to one side. And I'm just going to pop that half a piece in my mouth. Half a piece in my mouth. And save the other half piece. You're saving it for later. Put that over here to one side now. You may be asking yourself, why has he decided to go back to PK? Well, this video is a start of a 1 month celebration of 10 years for this channel. 21st of August 2015 was the date that I started this channel, and so I'm going to publish, I'm having 5 videos in August, evenly spaced, as part of the celebration. So I'm going to do a few refilming of popular videos. I'll look back through all the developments of the channel on another video. I haven't filmed them all yet, so I'm not really sure exactly, but so I'll start with the map here, probably finish off with the map at the end of August, and 3 videos in between. Okay, so that's why I'm using the PK. So without further ado, 1, 2, and 3. So 3. There we go. Nice and bright. So I'll leave my ruler on there so I can see. I think it's probably a good position. So Finland. I've been wanting to do Finland. Now I had to look through the comments, and I could see going back, 6 years that I've made a mistake to begin with. The trusty Mr. Brush, put it away. And Finland goes right up here to the coast, and there we go, and down like so. We've got Russia on this side. It's quite a large border with Russia. Kind of goes in like that. Down here onto that's the Baltic Sea. This is the Gulf of Bothnia. Not just called the Gulf, it's called the Gulf out the map of Finland. Yeah, so 6 years ago. I said, there's been many other comments since saying stuff along the lines of hopefully soon. That's Finland, and I'm going to just do. I'll finish off a few of the surrounding countries, such as Sweden, Norway. So, yeah, I suppose one of the reasons I may have been hesitant to do it in the past is because it's a portrait country, in that it sort of fits on a portrait piece of paper, where these long play YouTube videos are always on this landscape. I did do Sweden in the past. Anyway, and this is the coast here of Norway I'm going around, so there's no way I can do that justice because there's all these little ins and outs, but anyway. I'll do my best to spin around and down. It's actually quite an interesting country. Finland. Sort of a relatively small population with a large sort of land area. There's all these little ins and outs here for Norway, but still lots of islands. Lots of islands in Norway as well as Finland. Lots of lakes. Yeah, like so. Okay. Now some other borders down here. Yes, they've got countries down here. Estonia and Latvia. And Russia's over here, so then I just need to do the border then, which I'm pretty sure goes down like this. This is the Swedish Norwegian border, or the border between Norway and Sweden. That goes down like that. Okay, lovely. So what I'm going to do this, it was actually quite hard to find a map that I was going to get the, Finland onto most of the page, and then I also could do some of the surrounding countries. I found this one, and then I think with a bit of freehand, I might just sort of do a little bit more here too. I do for Russia. So what I'll do now is I'll take away the light board and come back, finish off the map, and start colouring in. Okay, with the magic of what do I call it? The magic of editing. I'm going to remove the light board in 1, 2, 3. Okay, so I'm back, and I think the Russian map sort of goes down there a little bit like that. There's a little piece like that, which I think is called the White Sea, and sort of goes in perhaps like that. So yeah, I should write Finland up the top. Not that anybody doesn't know. Double negative, I should say. Everybody would know now that I'm doing the map of Finland, Norway, on the map, on the video, so I'm going to do it in orange instead. There's really only a few countries, sorry, a few colours that kind of work. Red, green, orange, purple. Maybe I should have done it in purple. Oh, too late now. Oh, actually I like the orange. Otherwise it's sort of like blue, just gets lost. Just gets lost, unfortunately. What I'll do now, I think I'll do it up here actually. I'll get my ruler and I'll draw the little Finnish flag up here before I forget. You just have a white flag with a light blue cross on it. Yeah, it's excellent. It's one of the I've actually always liked all those European flags. There's probably other countries like it as well. They're just simple colours and a cross, isn't it? Great sort of patterns or anything to them. So they don't have another country's flag in there. You know, in their top left hand corner. Any of that sort of stuff. But anyway. That's fine. I'm doing the edge of the map of Finland. So yeah, so apologies for taking so long to do this video, but hopefully I'll do Finland justice. Hopefully I won't make too many mistakes. I just had a thought that I should double check that I'm colouring in the right section. Yeah, I am, yeah. What I should have really done before I started colouring. Imagine if I'd done that, suddenly colouring in the wrong country. I'm going to have to start again. Start the video again. Save it for the bloopers reel. Okay, so I should write that. This is Russia here. Here we've got Estonia. Estonia. Oh, I probably should make that in caps, shouldn't I? Oh, I can actually. Just by giving that a little rub out. Estonia and Latvia's down here. I think that interesting for me. I think for the Finnish people they might have another word to describe it. And then I thought to myself, I wonder where Ukraine is in comparison. It's much further south down there. Probably maybe that much again further south. I did have a quick look just to familiarise myself before I did this video. Okay, so got all my colouring in done, kinda. No, well, not really, I've done some of it. The Gulf of Bithynia. Yeah, that when I did the last map, the Saudi Arabia map, just on my map, it just said the Gulf. I don't remember. I thought to myself, well, I remember the Gulf War, I think so. I don't know, everybody got upset because I hadn't called it the Persian Gulf. I'll just go through this with a little pencil. Bit of like colouring in with my pencil there, or my pencil. Okay, a little bit of light colouring in there. Okay, now. A bit of shavings time. I wouldn't think I'd need much in the way of shavings, but we'll see. Put that in there. It always reminds me of like I'm a smoker, I suppose, tapping out the ash. But that should be enough, I think. I'll move it around a little bit with my brush. Right, there we go, yeah. Bring it back into the zone. Fabulous. Oh yeah. Fair to average now, a bit of Mr. Brush time. Just slowly sweeping away the excess shavings. That's beautiful. Now, Sharpie time, I think. I'm actually going to do a blue Sharpie, which is, the map colours of Finland. Okay, pop that open. I'll have to do this in fairly small writing, I think. Finland online, I think that's in this button. Condescended. And I don't think there's many towns there, so now what we want to know first about Finland. Yes, population of 5.5 million people, so fairly small population. There is 188,000 lakes and 180,000 islands. Finland, and 180,000 up and around the coast. Let's give this pencil a bit of a sharpen. Put that to one side. The capital down here is Helsinki. Helsinki. And other popular towns are Rav. I don't know, Ravensburg maybe. And up here is Oulu. Over here on the coast is, so this is an interesting one. Well, I would pronounce that as Coca-Cola, but it's Coca-Cola, I think. Well, no, I don't think I'd pronounce it as Coca-Cola. That's what I first thought of when I read that name. That's pouring Turku. These are all some of the sort of the top towns, top cities. Down here there is Espoo. Up here is Lathai. There is Tampere. Hopefully I'm getting the spelling right. I know that I'm not doing really any justice to the names. Oh, Lappeenranta. L-A-P-P. Might be a little bit further south, that one. Oh, it is actually. It's probably down there. I'll just put a little area down. There might be two E's as well. Lappeenranta. I made a mash of that one. Mash of that one. J-Y-V. Skylar. Skylar. Couple more. Cupio. And Jonesu. Yeah, so there's all the major cities. Okay, so I'm excited about that. I don't think I've missed any that are not on my list. Population 5.5 million, 188,000 lakes, 180,000 islands, and 2.2 million saunas. Everybody's mad about saunas in Finland. I've never really been much of a sauna. I remember years ago, if I've told this story before, I sort of have a feeling I have. I was at the gym, the GYM gym, and I've been in the sauna for 10 minutes, which is usually sort of enough for me. And it's just as I was walking out, this other woman that I knew was walking into the sauna, you see, so. And I was kind of keen on her. Pretty sure her name was Tracy, and she was a nurse. Anyway, so I sort of, I don't know if I had a quick girl shower or not, but I walked straight back into the sauna to go and talk with her. And I was absolutely gone. I felt like I was almost going to pass out, but the things you do. Finnish is 89%. Oh, okay, so the two languages are Finnish and Swedish. And 89% must be that Finnish is their first language and 5% must be Swedish. The land of the midnight sun. So in summer, up north, the sun doesn't actually set. 24 hours of daylight, it'd be quite strange, I'd imagine. And Helsinki, I've got all this room to write here, it's great. Helsinki is the second highest capital city in the world, and the highest is Reykjavik in Iceland. And Helsinki must be higher than Oslo, which is over here, and Stockholm, I'm just seeing on my map. I can see Stockholm about there. And Oslo. But be much in it. Oslo is just about there. For Norway and Sweden, anyway. A bit of a digression there. The history's interesting. They feel that there's been some form of human inhabitants since 9000 BC. But it wasn't until the 12th century AD when the first sort of written records of Finland and when the Catholic Church arrived. And in the 13th century they became part of Sweden. They must have stayed there until 1809, when there was the Finnish War, and they went to Russia. I find this history to be very interesting, actually. In 1917, which must be in line with the Russian Revolution, they declared their independence. And then in World War II, they fought against the Soviets. That's it. But they ended up ceding Karelia to Soviet Union, which I think is to the Soviet Union now, which is, I think, it's a big sort of chunk of territory sort of down around here, roughly. Looked it up on the map. That's what that meant. Karelia was ceded to the Soviet Union. Much pencil, a little sharpen. I like a nice sharp pencil. But when I first started working, a lot of the spreadsheets was done on these big sheets of paper. I worked at this company that were a bit sort of behind the times, and you write your numbers in, add them up with pencils, so they would supply pencils, you see. I think I could have told this story before, but it always reminds me. But they wouldn't give you a mechanical pencil, so I said, okay, I'll just use pencils. And then, yeah. And then, oh yeah, I remember where the story's going here. And this boss was complaining about how many pencils I was using. I might have been using, one a week. I'd end up sharpening them right down to here. Take a minute to get a new pencil. Anyway, they did a bit of a review. Not much of a review, and then he for some reason lost his job. Obviously realised that what he was doing wasn't really adding value to the business. in 1995, Finland became part of the EU, European Union, and in 2023 they became part of NATO. So yeah, that's funny how they waited so long to become part of NATO. But anyway, oh yeah, and there's national service, I suppose, for all eligible. That's what it's called. I think it's called national. Well, that's what we'd call it. For 18 to 29-year-olds, they've sort of got to do, between 6 months and a year over that period, where they 6 months to a year's national service, where they're training in the army. That's all. Pretty well all males, all able-bodied males, and mentally and physically able. Kind of makes sense. I suppose. A couple of interesting facts. Oh yeah, Nokia. Right up here. Nokia is Finnish. It's a Finnish company, and I remember a time when everybody seemed to own a 3310. Sure, I had a 3310 at one point. If not, it might have been a 3315, but I'm not sure. And now, well, I don't know that you really see Nokia phones. I know I have a Samsung. A lot of people have an iPhone. And when you talk to people, if you've got a Samsung, you're mad about Samsungs, they're great. Well, mostly. And if you've got an iPhone, people are mad about iPhones. But anyway, but I think, I do think my Samsung is pretty good. And now I've had a Samsung for a while. I can't imagine me going back to. Well, I did have an iPhone for a while. It was a hand-me-down one. So yeah, I did have a Sony phone too. That was a good little phone. But yeah, like a lot of things, technology means that you've got to got to update with the latest technology. As I remember with mine, I think it might have been the Sony, maybe it was the iPhone. There was a lot of apps that I just couldn't upload because the operating system wasn't the latest enough to. That wasn't a high enough operating system to cope with the new apps, and you couldn't update the operating system either. So it forces you to buy a new phone. Anyway, this is something that we see on the news in Australia. I've seen it many times, so maybe it's every year. The wife carrying world championships in Finland, where men turn up with their wives and carry them in different positions on their backs or upside down, and they run along a course, and the first person through past the post is the winner, and they win their wife's weight in beer, which is a pretty good prize. some few details about Finland, interesting details. On the map, surrounding countries, and